What up? What up? What up?
Billy
What
G.
up?
Yo, Billy, my man, looking
What's
fly.
happening? What's happening, dude? I see all the flexes. Let's get it.
Let's go.
Yo, hold on.
Yes.
Before we even start, where are you? Because you always like, I can't take. Oh, I'm gonna turn the volume up a little bit. Can you help me out here, Paul?
Yeah, I just did the same.
Okay, good. Yeah, where the hell are you? Every time I stalk you, this man is in Sedona, in some part of the world I ain't never been to. He's got pool, every time I look at you, I go, man, my life sucks.
Oh, you're crazy, bro. You know, it's interesting, bro. I put up a post yesterday. I'm back and I'm traveling, and man, it went ham because the mask situation. It was really interesting as I'm traveling, kind of seeing how everyone is reacting to not wearing a mask.
Right.
But I'm in Seattle, man. It's beautiful. I'm overlooking a lake, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's my first time out here. So my queen, for all of you that are new to following me, I finally manifested a queen in my life, Ashley Han, and she grew up here in Poulsbo. So I'm out here going to be meeting up with her father.
Whoa, hey, whoa, hey. You think I'm gonna let that slide and not say that? You think you can, like, hold up, whoa, hey. Meeting the father usually only means, one of like two things. Like I don't like, what could you possibly be talking to him about? I don't know.
Yeah,
like
I don't know. I'm just gonna, just kick it with the dad,
Oh, wow, that's exciting.
They say some big deals go down on the golf course, so we'll see.
You might close the biggest deal of your life.
Baby.
I love it, man. Congrats. Seattle's a cool spot. I've only been up there one time, but I used to live in Portland for like a year, and it's a good spot.
Oh, dope, bro. So, man, it's been cool seeing you. For all of you, I don't know if you've been following Billy, but you've been on the road. It seems like I just connected. I DM'd that entrepreneur to visit. What was his name? Corey? Is it? He has the warehouse with the cars.
Oh, Chase.
I haven't met him yet, but I shot him a DM. We're gonna connect. But that's cool, bro. How's the show going? So talk to me, man. What's new?
So for me, man, like I've seen this as an opportunity to like create more content than before. I'll be real with you, like I don't want to say caught up because I've chosen to, but really focusing on like scaling the organization. My brain has been so like process driven. How do I grow leaders and people and our product, and how can we make it better, and those things. And as a content creator and an entertainer and a storyteller, I'll be real, like before quarantine, I kind of lost a step in that because I just wasn't focused on it, right? And you get what you're focused on. So during quarantine, it forced me to create content, which I haven't been doing. So I created a brand new program, and I haven't created one before that, like probably in 2 years, something like that. And so I banged out that. I've been talking about launching a podcast for probably 2.5, 3 years now. I launched a podcast during quarantine, and I'm writing a book.
Wow.
So like all my content is there. Plus we filmed a new TV concept series because we're really pressing to get picked up and create a partnership with, whether that's Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, whatever that turns out to be. Right. So we're doing a lot of pitch concepts. So we created one concept called Pitch the Genius, where we go pick up people in the Sprinter and then they make us offers, and that's crazy. We're doing another one that's like MTV Cribs except for offices. So I'm going to be going to some of the homies' offices and showing that back in. And like right now, a lot of people, there's obviously more tension racially between all different sorts of people. But at the same time, you have more companies that are looking to support minorities than ever before as a result. And so there's a lot of people who are looking like, hey, where can I find a lead African-American guy? So I'm like, yo, while y'all are looking, hold up, right here. Hey, so jumping on that. So that's kind of what's happening, man.
Wow, bro. God bless, man. I see you making those moves, and you're a master content creator. So I just know that the show is going to be so powerful. I'm really excited about the podcast. Guys, I don't know if you saw, but Billy and I collaborated on an episode on my YouTube show, Leaders Create Leaders. I believe we broke over 100,000 views already. You guys got to check it out. And I went and kind of immersed myself into his entire culture, his entire story. So definitely check that out if you haven't yet. And in that episode, I went to his entire office and saw how he really built an entire media company within his business. I mean, do you consider your company at this point pretty much a content media education company? Like, Talk to me a
Yeah.
little bit about the importance of doing that, because you got the podcast studio, you got the stage.
Yeah.
You're probably in one of your rooms there where you do the live streams to all of your thousands of students, where you teach them how to create Facebook ads and become an entrepreneur. So just talk to me about like the importance nowadays of content if you're an entrepreneur.
You know, I believe with a different type of conviction that if people aren't creating content, that they're going to be out of business.
I agree.
And like, not even like on some like, oh, you're not going to do good at, like, I'm dead serious, because if you look at it in the simplest form, which is this, you take two companies, company A and company B. Let's say you and I are together, right? When we want to go to a restaurant, and we're like, which restaurant should we eat at? We pull up Google, and we're in Seattle for the first time together. Where should we eat? Are we going to go to the place with pictures and videos of the experience, or are we going to go to the place without it?
Right.
Never in a million years would us or any other human being in 2020 choose the place with no pictures, no reviews, no anything. And that's just the simplest part. But then think about all the brands, personalities that you follow, etc. It's almost, you're always following a story. Take like, The Rock. Like, we followed his journey, but how can we follow it? Because the content he creates, whether that be TV shows, whether that be movies, whether that be, Kevin Hart with his comedy tour, the only reason why you can like anybody is because of the content that they put out. Yeah. Like, it's not, you don't like people, you like the content that they show you, and you feel a certain type of way about people because of it.
Yeah.
And the good side about that, though, is we control the content. We control the narrative. So, like, if you can create your own content, you can create the way that people feel about you. Yeah. And if you can run ad dollars behind it, you can control the whole narrative and be whoever you want to be. And so record labels have been using this forever. They pick an artist 20 years ago. They had distribution with Target, Walmart, Blockbuster Music, if you remember that. They own all those places. They have all the radio stations on payroll. So when they want to make someone famous, they literally say, hey, you have a talented voice, you can entertain, and you look really cute. Now we're going to put you on these radio stations. Now we're going to put you in these magazines because we low-key own them. Yep. Now we're going to put you here. And as a result of seeing those things, someone is now what's called famous.
Yes.
But people don't realize how manufactured and how purchased that is. But the fun thing is 2020, that whole manufacturing is we can do it on our cell phones. It's not just the big dogs who can create now. We can create our own. And that's what people got to obsess about. If you get that point, you realize, like, the world is for the taking.
Woo! Yo, the game has officially changed. I mean, I hear Drake is even considering now going independent, which would really mess up the entire music industry. Did you hear about that, Billy?
He's going into what?
I heard he's considering now going independent himself because of how much now as creators we can basically we don't necessarily need the media industry anymore. Like, we have become our own platforms. We can create our own distribution and own the IP of all of our own content. And
you want to hear the best example of that? And it's about I think he's 9 years old, maybe he's 7, but I got a 4-year-old daughter. But have you ever heard of Ryan?
No.
Okay, let me put you on game on Ryan. And he's a 9-year-old little kid. He has a show on YouTube called Ryan's World. And it's him and his parents, and they just play with toys. That's it. They just open toys, they play with it. They like go to the zoo, they film it. Dude, this kid, I think he made $17 million last year. But people don't realize since then, like this year, he'll probably come out, he probably made 50 to 100 million. This kid has video games, like full-on video games. He licensed his name so much. And I think it's so weird because people don't realize, like, that is the new and present day superstar. The only reason why people are really feeling it, or they're ignoring it or trying to deny it, is because they're young. And all the old people aren't on it. So they can't play in the arena. So they kind of like shun. Oh, you're just they say YouTube famous. No, that's famous.
Yeah.
No, you're movie famous. That sucks. I'm YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, that's a thing.
Same thing with even TikTok right now. I mean, there's some people that are making their 6 figures per week. We're at the point now where it's past 6 figures per week for some of the creators on TikTok already.
Wow.
So it's unbelievable now that this is. This is the new wave. And I just want to, I want to kind of also go a little deeper with you, Billy, only because like, talk to me a little bit about like how you're creating generational wealth. And I think right now, just recently over the past week, we saw the unemployment rate go through the roof, right? Like we're going through a real economic shift. I mean, like we've never, ever had before with the economy. I mean, it's interesting to kind of really see what's really happening with this pandemic. Like, I think there's a lot of things behind the scenes that are happening with government and now unemployment. I feel bad, bro. Like, I don't know about you, but I have a lot of clients that are entrepreneurs that are like opening up to me. And they're like, man, you know, I'm having to shut down. I'm almost at the point now where I'm being forced to shut down my gym, shut down my brick and mortar, and go all in on e-commerce. But if you're smart right now and you really double down on what we're talking about on this content, on really building out your platform and leveraging the internet, which has been the game for me for 18 years. So that's why I had not much has really changed. I'm just continuing to adapt as an entrepreneur. I'm always adapting. I'm always experimenting, and I'm always leveraging these tools instead of complaining to them. I'm leveraging them all as weapons and tools for me to build my audience and grow my business. So I'm just curious, bro, because do you think that we're going to see, what are your thoughts on just the economy and the shift of like new millionaires that are going to be rising because they're going all in on this?
I think you hit on both sides, man. Like, it's two words came to mind when you were speaking right now. Number one, creativity. Number two is willingness. And what I mean by that is, like, you know, you're right. Like, it's no human being is greater than their environment, and no business is either. And so, for example, like gyms, their solution right now is, nope, we're going to be open, and they're fighting against the government and the state and people's fears. And they're trying to force their way to stay open, to chase something that has fundamentally changed forever. And then you have other people who are like, yeah, me and my students and my clients or whatever, we have gone virtual, and this is what we do, and this is how we're going to make a living now. And they're killing it. I know some trainers having the best months of their lives.
Yeah, same with me.
Paul, can you fix this?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Even my sister started a meditation studio in Jersey. It was something that I was so proud of her. Our whole family was proud of her because we've never had something like that where we grew up. You know what I mean? So, like, it's life-changing for a lot of the community there in Jersey. She launched a Radiance Festival, all these things around mindfulness. And it was hard for her to shut that down. That was a lifelong dream. I'm sure many of you who've got that brick and mortar, that's a lifelong dream of yours. But she adapted, she let go, she got unattached to it, and now virtual, she's making more money than she's ever made before in her life in 1 month being virtual.
And probably in less time. And so it's one of those things where it's like, yo, it sucks. Like, it sucks what happened to the physical locations. But my realest advice that I can give anybody is get over it. And here's why. Because dwelling on it will make you zero money. Focusing on it will not make you feel good. It won't help anybody around you. The only thing you can do is change. And it's so hard for entrepreneurs to grasp that. And they say things like, well, I've never done it that way before. Or like, and they have uncertainties because it's a new path. Guess what? It doesn't matter. The market wins. You got to adapt. And so I just hope everybody right now realizes that, you know, it's not that your business model can't work virtually. It's that you have to be more creative than the next griller guy and do something someone hasn't done before.
Yeah.
Period. And,
so
and
Billy,
I hope that everyone gets that. Go ahead.
So Billy, you created one of the greatest online schools for entrepreneurs, man. I'm a huge advocate of what you're doing and how you're playing a big role in shifting the culture, especially for just the Black and brown community as well, like being a representation of what's actually possible and really giving people practical ways to build that business and to actually grow an income that is not just an income, an asset, right? Like to actually become an owner. Like my whole brand was around ownership. So I'm just curious, bro, can you just jam with me for a second? What do you see as maybe like the top 1 or 2 main mindset limitations that you face with the majority of the students that you help them? And like, can you give us a tip of, for someone out there that right now that's maybe going through that?
Yeah, it's that they can learn something new. I'll give an example. Take like, you know, my parents, for example, and maybe your parents are the same way. I know a lot of people listening, your parents may be the same way. Where like, remember when like TVs first became a thing and computers became a thing and laptops, and then you told your parents to use a laptop? Like, I don't know how to work that thing. Like that thing, like, I don't know. That wasn't around in my time. We don't need no damn laptop, da-da-da. And then they still,
the big one.
They're like, don't give me the smartphone. Just give me the flip phone. Well, I don't need all the buttons and da-da-da. That is the mindset that is keeping people prisoner right now. Because maybe it's not, you know, a laptop, but maybe for someone it is learning Facebook ads, learning
Right.
TikTok, having the limiting beliefs of like, I'm not the type of person that gets on camera. Like, y'all, you two can get up in here and you guys can talk on live. I can never be that way. Well, I don't know how to make entertaining comment. I can never do those things. And, so many people say like, hey, double down on your strengths. But listen, everybody, you got to have some damn strengths first. You got to get some strengths first. Like, people are like, yeah, like, I don't know what to double down. I got to get some strengths. You got to get some strengths. And that means you got to learn something new. You got to practice something new. Like, we suck at everything before we actually do it. But the one thing that I want everybody to know, especially as we're talking about content and how it's become a requirement, is that everybody is interesting. And one way to capture your personality is to, what I like to say, capture genius. Meaning, if I were to turn on my camera right now and I just had to freestyle and teach a lesson, like, I can do that because I've been doing it for a decade, but that's really difficult for most people. However, take a chiropractor who's like, Billy, I can't go on camera. Well, if you just tell them to start talking to the camera, they're probably going to up. However, if I just take a camera and I just watch them with 4 or 5 patients, they're going to be on fire. They're going to be in their zone of genius. So it's about strategically, how can you make the camera work for you to shine in your element and to do your thing? And so, I think those things are critical. Is make sure, stop telling yourself what you're not. Just tell yourself the truth, which is, I am not good at these things right now. But if I practice and commit to it, I can be excellent and get this result. That's the mindset shift. Is thinking that you're just stuck. Things are the economy is this, there's nothing I can do. Well, I'm not an entertainer, so there's nothing I can do. Well, must be nice that you're virtual, I'm virtual because I learned about virtual 10 years ago. Right. You know what I mean? Like, we've learned these, and not because we were born with it. There's no such thing as you're not a natural born leader, you're not a natural born manager, you're not a natural born salesperson. The professionals are practiced, they are trained. Like, even the idea of natural born salespeople, this right here, these are a bunch of objections. When you're on the phone with someone, they tell you, no, this is a time, money, now's not the best time. I need to talk to my partner. I don't trust you guys enough. And these are responses of what to say when anybody drops it. See, this is the difference between winners and losers. Is winners are focused on what they can control and they're practicing, but just never want to be the person that's talking about making more money, but you don't practice more sales. That's crazy talk to me. So everyone, I want you to believe that you can do it. Because if you believe that you're just not that type of person, or it's not possible, you'll never try it. You already lost. You'll never try something that you don't think is possible.
Yep. Powerful, bro. Powerful. Talk to me a little bit. I mean, this is an interesting concept I just want to bring up to you too. Like, the get rich quick thing. I want to know I want to know your actual take on this, right? Because I used to hate on the get rich quick. And I do believe that, like, I'm a long-term guy, right? I'm in this for forever. I've been an entrepreneur. For as long as I live, I will be an entrepreneur. I'll always be playing the long game. Patience, I get it, all of that. But it's an interesting time, right? Like, you can make a couple moves right now.
I got something for you on that. got something for you on that. Yeah. Because you're nailing it. And it's getting rich quick is relative, but the real conversation is getting smart quick.
Ooh.
So, like, you can get smart quick right now. And if you know it, like, take the stock market, right? Like, right now, if you learned a bunch in 3 months, stood up every night, hung around the right people who are killing it, you could have made a load of money and you could have got rich quick. Right now, the last 3 months, you could have got rich real quick, but you had to get smart quick first, right? Like digital marketing. Oh my God, there's a ton of money to make right there, but you have to learn the stuff. And for most people, it's just not easy to get smart quick. Like, as much as you and I would want it so bad, I'm sorry, but we're not going to become doctors overnight. It's just, we ain't gonna, like, I'm not, like, I don't know, like, I have a limiting belief in myself. Could I ever do it? Right? Like, so, like, it's about, like, okay, hey, change the question from, like, how do I make the money, to, like, how can I become a master at solving X, Y, and Z problem? And so dude, you can make money fast, right? Like, and most people never make money because they just never tried. Yeah. Right? Like, if you ever ask someone, like, hey, how much additional would you like to make a month? 1,000. And then you say, okay, well, have you ever tried to make $1,000 additional in a month? They're like, no, I haven't tried. I don't know what to sell yet. I don't know what to do. Like, just think about that. People like they talk about what's impossible, but they haven't even attempted it. Yep. So it's an interesting time, because you're right. It's like, hey, right now, you can absolutely get, paid, like, on the come up real quick. It's a real thing. However, you got to get smart quick. You got to get smart quick. And what I mean by that is check your habits. Real talk, like true. Hey, everybody listening, real evaluation of your habits. If the two of us followed you around for the day, for the last 30 days, what would we think of you?
Yep, exactly.
And you couldn't talk. You couldn't talk. You couldn't say a word to us. No explainer, no disclosures, no like, well, guys, hold on. No, silent. We're just little ghosts, little angels following you around for 30 days. And we can just see you. We just see what you do. And then ask yourself this question. Do you make exactly how much you deserve to make? And what I mean by that is, hey, if you don't have additional skills, if you're not reading, if you're not improving, like real talk, are you investing more money into your entertainment than your education? Then you make exactly how much you deserve. People are so afraid to like, I'm not going to buy a course. Are you kidding me? Like, I'll look it up on YouTube, but give me them Gucci slides.
Right. They care more about buying a pair of Balenciaga sneakers than they will like a course that will actually teach them a new skill that will change their life forever.
100. And it's so frowned upon, right? Like you have the traditional, education system, kind of shunning it. Everyone's like, ooh, like I just remember like on the come up being in the digital marketing space, like, Doug, do you realize this is so funny right now? Going this recap 11 years ago, like when I'm first on this journey to learn about this internet stuff, like, oh, you're one of those guys. Like, oh, you just want to sit on your laptop all day and you want to make money, right?
Too.
Like, yeah, that's what you want. You know how it is, right? And they talk so much. And now what's everybody asking? Hey man, so how do you learn this online?
Yeah.
When you're a fast mover, when you're an innovator, when you're jumping on a trend early, you have to appreciate and expect the hate. People are uncomfortable with new. People are uncomfortable with different. But that's the reason why they get left behind. But like this is even like not just like haters. These are your family. My parents were asking me that, and I love my parents. Great people. But I'm at their house and they're like, yo, what are you doing upstairs on your computer? Why don't you go outside? Here it is. Why don't you go outside and do some real work?
Yeah.
Why don't you go outside and do some real work?
Yeah,
someone these nuts. No, I'm just kidding.
Someone commented on a pic today and I liked it. They said execution before the flexecution. And I was like, oh, that's good.
That's good. I like that.
Because I get it, man. Like, especially for this next generation with TikTok blowing up. I mean, you can get really caught up in looking cool and playing the part. But how many have you come across, Billy, that is focusing on content but doesn't have the business behind it? Like they're not actually selling anything. They're not coming up with the product. So they're actually broke. If you really audited not just their habits, but you audited their bank account, if you audited their circle of influence, if you audited, their confidence, their self-esteem, their friends, their inner circle.
Unfortunately, I mean, you just nailed it. Like, I know an uncomfortable amount of people in that boat. And they are all in the optics and the look of it. And, it's like they just want the desired outcome. They just want to be famous. But famous for what?
Yeah.
Like everyone, like fill in that blank. Like, for what do you want to be known for? Do you want to just be known for being known? You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people are trying to get there that way. But when you look at the people who are really making a massive impact, they had a skill set, they had a gift, they were solving a problem, and that's what allowed them to attract followers based off what they do. There's some kind of skill set, so something. And so,
right.
I wish more people would become, instead of obsessing with, getting to like just that classic, like I wish more people would care more about how they make their money versus how much money they make. Because when that becomes the obsession, the money always comes right behind it. You know what I mean?
Money never leads, it follows. My big thing is like, as entrepreneurs, like it's about solving problems in the world that our government is not paying attention to and solving for us. And we got to be the ones that go and disrupt and change the culture and change and create the solutions of tomorrow.
100.
So, I really genuinely believe, man, like this is it. This is the year, Billy. When I look back at the last recession, it was a different one, right? But between like 2008 and 2010, I went from like having the hardest years. I mean, pretty much like the hardest months and like year of my life, losing millions of dollars in the stock market, to then creating a $50 million company and making multiple 7-figure trades, bouncing back. And I think right now, everyone that's on this live stream, if you're still paying attention, this is your year. This is the year that you've been waiting for. I don't care what level you're at. I mean, this is Billy's year. Trust me when I tell you, this is my year. Like, this is the year where we catapult to a whole nother level of opportunity. And I genuinely believe there's 6 months right now while everyone else is like, the world starts opening up, and I get it. We all want to go and enjoy life, and I'm all about that. But 6 months of concentration, focus, tripling down on what Billy's talking about, auditing your routine, auditing your skill set, buying and investing that money that you typically would use to go to Cancun for spring, for Labor Day weekend, using that to buy the course, using that to actually educate yourself, to get a coach, and really just doubling down on doing the work, like the work that most people don't see. Like, I was up till, I'm 35 years old. I was still up till, and I'm not saying this is for everyone, but I was still up till 1 a.m. 2 nights ago working.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I got millions of dollars in the bank, but I'm still willing to dedicate extra time to my craft. I'm not saying it's like that every night. I got boundaries, but you got to be willing to put in that extra work right now, because that 6 months of focus and concentration is going to put you ahead for 5 years, 10 years, for your life.
100%, man. And it's funny what you say about the last night thing. I mean, my phone right now, I woke up like 2 o'clock in the morning and worked from 2 to 4. And I just messaged the marketing team ideas and strategies from 2 to 4, went back to bed. And like, that's how it is, right? It's forever and ongoing. And like, I just want to remind everybody, because I think there's this shift happening, right? Where there's this beautiful movement where people are paying attention to themselves more than ever. Their self-care, their sleep, their health, everything like that. It's beautiful. But what people are forgetting is that hard work is required. Yes. So I see a lot of people trying to rationalize about when they're, so for example, like if they have to stay up late, or if they have to do an uncomfortable sales presentation, or they have to memorize something, they say, you know what? This just feels out of alignment. Maybe this isn't for me. No, you're just being lazy.
Yeah, there's a big
you're just being lazy and trying to avoid the work. 100%. So everyone, tell yourself the truth. It's not that it feels out of alignment. You're just being lazy. And by the way, I'm guilty of this, right? Like we're all guilty of it. But you got to check yourself and just like, no, you got to put in the work. Like, this is what's required. And I love to go back to the example of doctors, because doctors are required, but nobody talks about the 13 years before they make the 150 plus. And that's just for 150 plus. No one talks about the 13 years. And like, so if you won't eat ass for 6 months, a year, 2 years, you're getting what you deserve.
I mean, it's true. I mean, you hear the rule. Seth Godin, I think, mentioned it. 10,000 hours. I'm probably at 20,000 hours at this point in my career of entrepreneurship. Guys, you got to put in the hours. You got to put in the work for sure. And it doesn't mean. And there's the thing. I don't think it's an or, like it's an and, like, and be in alignment, and make sure that you're focusing on a problem that you're truly passionate about solving.
That's critical. That's fire. That's fire.
And still be the one who's the spiritual warrior like me. Like, I still wake up, I still meditate. Billy, you know me, man. I'm all about I'm a spiritual warrior, bro. But I'm also an assassin. I'm also a entrepreneur.
Hold on. That you gotta pause on that. And I want everyone to really let that sink in. Because it always is like this thing of, what should I do? People are so, especially in the startup entrepreneur phase, right? It's like, oh no, if I do this, but then that means this. No, and is the word. Right. You know what I learned about and is when I had my daughter. Right now, granted, it's me and my daughter. She's 4 years old, and I realized there's now this thing in my life where I have non-negotiable time. Right. And before that, I can get out of everything. We talked about this before, but like, if it was like a date or something, you could be like, nah, I can't make it. If it's your friend, you're like, I can't make it. You can put off anything in the world, but you can't put off your kids. So now I had to figure out, I have this non-negotiable time that I want to spend with my baby girl. And no matter what, I'm going to lose 6 hours in my day, 4 to 6 hours in a day, because I got this thing now, but I have to figure out how to be twice as productive. And we did. And that was such an aha moment to me, because at first, like when she was on the way, I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? I'm only going to be able to do this. But the truth is, I just was lying to myself, and I wasn't being creative enough. I didn't learn enough about teams and how I can leverage people, process, organization.
Priorities,
it was
people, process.
Dude,
Yes.
it was all in my head. And so everybody, the and is so critical. It's don't say like, should I do this or this? Say, hey, well, my goal is this and my goal is this. So what can I do now to make sure I get it done?
Facts, bro. Facts. And that means that you got to take the time to pull away from all the distractions. Like, I'm out here because I'm about to, if I'm thinking about that next chapter of my life with Ashley, like, I got to take the time to sit with her and say, whoa, 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 before we take any next steps, what is it that we really want to create? And what do we, really get clarity on like all those things, and then adapt to that lifestyle, like get very clear on what that is for yourself, and figure, and just know that you can have all of it, but you got to just get clear on what those priorities are, man.
Yes.
And I think it's really powerful what you brought up with your daughter, man. Thank you for sharing that, because I just did a presentation for a virtual conference for my man, Sean Anthony, who it's called Our Time Is Now. And I was like, what am I going to do this on? What am I going to do this on? And it kind of talked about creating, financial freedom. So I did a presentation on wealth, creating wealth. And I'll tell you guys this, the number one difference between people out there that are, trying to get rich, trying to make money, but are really living paycheck to paycheck, ultimately, probably have no more than 1 month extra of your bills paid, versus someone who actually is wealthy, is the way that they see time. It's what Billy talked about. It's the fact that time is finite, right? And they're not trading their time for money anymore. They start to recognize, how can I be more efficient? How can I have that work ethic, but still be able to make time to get out in nature, to spend time with my daughter, to spend time with my family, to go and see my mother, to do all of those things, and to put the right people around you. And to start looking at, how do you put the right systems in place? See, there's a lot of good people out there, but they're in a bad system. And
yes,
you got to
dude, to jump in there too, like you just hit something. It's like, hey, how can I be more efficient in that time? Something for me, and maybe some of you guys can relate to this, is like, I was not a good student. Like, I was like a 2.0 kind of student, maybe like a 3.0 in high school for a little bit. In college, I didn't do well or anything like that. So when I think about like that balance of time, where my efficiencies came from is my innate laziness. Like, I was straight up wanted to play Xbox all through college, but I still needed to pass college, right? So I had to find a way to get creative, to get more grades, to make money. Every like process or hire out of my life has came from me being lazy as hell. It was like I don't want to clean up my house after work, I got an assistant. And then I learned, oh my God, I just got so many hours back that now I can use this time to make more money. Every single thing that has sucked, I've tried to get rid of. That's really my greatest strength, is I hate doing I don't want to do. So I use my brain and I get creative, and I find another way to not do it. So if you have laziness, embrace it and find ways to dive into it. Because that's all I do on a consistent basis to
just
give myself time.
A great thing that you can do for all of these that are on this live is frankly just audit where your time is actually going. Like everything, like literally get a sheet of paper, and for the rest of this week, I want you to write down all the things that you continue to keep doing every single day. And then you look at those things, and there's 3 things you can do with every little thing that you need to do every single day, every task. You can either eliminate it, you can delegate it, or you can automate it. Those 3 things: eliminate it, delegate it, automate it. Eliminate it, I got to stop smoking blunts every day with my boys. I got to take time to stop doing that. I got to eliminate playing video games, because I got to eliminate Netflix. I got to eliminate it, right? Delegate. This is the thing I have to do every single day. I'm on here shooting DMs to try to get new clients and get leads every single day. How can I delegate that to someone on my team to start sending out those DMs for me to help me get some leads? Or what, maybe it's other things. And then automate. We live in a world today where there's so many amazing tools and softwares and like things that you can do, Zapier and freaking automations. And that's, what my systems integrator, he's like, I call him the mad systems scientist, Brian Donovan. He teaches that. But yeah, man, like, that's what I would tell you to do is
well, even to add on to that, because you keep saying shit and it sparks my brain. When you guys eliminate that thing or you're delegating, make sure you're filling your own personal time with the PPP, a profit producing activity, right? A PPA. Like, what are you going to do in that time once you delegate it that's going to make the company yourself more money? And when you can figure out how to put your A players on profit producing activities every single day, that's when you will freaking explode. So for me, I try and say, okay, look, our company makes the more money when I create a sales video, something that can be shown to, hundreds of millions of people that can ask for sales every single day. So everything else in my company, I make sure that somebody else is doing, so I can focus on the thing that actually moves the needle. Me doing a speaking event, a live event, something where I can connect with the masses. And if I'm not doing that and I'm caught up in something else, I'm actually costing everybody more money. And so that's it. You just nailed it right there, man.
Yeah, I love it. And I saw my girl, Ashley, she commented something. It's called your highest and best.
What up, Ashley?
So she said, you know what I mean? And and this is something that I learned later on too. It's like thinking about really just auditing and rating everything is this in your highest and best use? Really what it means is like, is this the most valuable task that I could be doing with my time, with my business, and what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis? And you can rank it. You can just rank it from 1 to 10, right? Or 1, 2, 3, and just rank yourself. And then really just see, because a lot of us get caught trying to have so much control that we end up doing everything in our business. But the more you can let go and start to build that team and then really just focus on where's your zone of genius. For me, it's creating content, it's coaching my clients, and it's connecting with people like Billy every day. Those are the 3 things I need to be doing every day that I can move the needle for my company. If it's not in those 3 things, I don't know.
Out.
You know what I'm saying? It's out. So get clear on what that is and then delegate and automate, eliminate the rest.
100, brother.
But Billy, bro, thank you so much, man, for taking some time. I really just would love to get you to hit me with 2 more things. As always, 1, what do you think we all need to be doing right now as leaders? How can someone who's listening to this right now, I want you to just spit some game, just really spit some fire into their soul right now for them to get out of their own way, really step into truly being a leader.
I have it because it's so fresh in my mind. It's ready for it. Everyone, this is the most powerful thing you're going to hear in your whole life. How about that? Whole life.
Woo!
Ready? Ask for help.
Wow.
And I just stand by it so much. And this is what I mean is sometimes when we get momentum or we're starting to build something, unfortunately, we start to build a little bit of ego, arrogance. And it may not come in the form of, condescending people or talking down to people, but it comes in the form of you stop asking for help.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a great example, right? I've done Facebook ads for, 11, 12 years, something like that, right? You get to a point where you're like, okay, it's all the same. I've seen it, right? I've seen it all, And as a result, I stopped linking up with other advertisers to kind of see their process, etc. Well, recently, shout out to my guy, Chase Hero, we mentioned earlier, I went to his office and I'm like, man, I know you're doing some stuff well. I was like, let me just come up for the day. So I went to his office for the day, saw what he was doing, and the things that I learned cut my cost per sale down in like 50% plus, which is massive. And this is what pissed me off. Chase and I have known each other for a while now. We teach in, the same mastermind, 100 million mastermind. Like we know. I could have made this call a long time ago. And it was 2 hours of time that makes a forever difference in my business. And then I just stopped for a second. I'm just like, what if I was doing that every day? How much further along would I have been if I just asked for some damn help, right? Like health. I've been on the in shape most of my life. The last few years, I was like, got out of control. And I just was like, I know how to do it. Like get out of my own head. Why didn't I ask for help? Right. So investing into a trainer and making those sacrifices. And then even when I had a trainer, still looking for additional help. I called up my guy, Alex Ramosi, who's in shape like a mug. Like he's doing his thing. I was like, hey man, best workout tip. He's like, I got it. Ready? Work out every single day. He's like, how often do you do business? So followed his thing and getting results like crazy, dropped 3 pounds now, since the top of the year. But again, it all came from asking for help. Me and my girl are good, but we be having some, drama every now and then. In that case, ask the homies who have been married for some time, yo, what's the help?
Right.
We just all get our own thing. And sometimes it's arrogance. Sometimes it's ignorance. Sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it's not wanting to look embarrassed. Sometimes it's, even when you're on a sales call, sometimes the customer says something we don't understand, but we don't ask them to clarify because we don't want to look stupid.
Right.
But then you can't really help them because it all goes back to this one thing of asking for help. Especially in startup land. In startup land, when you're just getting going, you want to prove so bad that you got it. Yep. You want to prove it so bad. I don't need any of you. I told you this, So you completely eliminate help, and oh my God, it stunts the process. And real stat, over 85% over the next decade of companies fail. And people say it's because of cash flow. It's because you didn't ask for help and you tried to figure it out yourself. The end.
Yep.
So if you're a leader that's not asking, I asked my trainer, I said, who's your trainer? So who's your trainer?
Yes,
Ask your business coach. Who's your business coach?
Yep.
Ask your anything. Who's there? And it's one of those things where it catches you. It's like, and that's kind of the fucked up thing with the education system is it creates the illusion that there's a finish line to learning.
100%. 100%. Billy, one of the things I respect about you, bro, and guys, just so you all know, like both Billy and I, right? We're continuing to rise. We're continuing to grow, expand, and make.
And we just feel like we're getting started, right? Like I know for you, like it's just like this is the beginning. Like this is the beginning.
Oh
like,
yeah, and it's still the beginning. But
like when we do this live in 30 years, like what's that gonna be like?
And it's crazy because like if you follow Billy, which you all must, he's in a mastermind. He's got coaches. If you follow me, you'll see I've announced it. I'm always in a new container. I'm always joining my own, even though I have my own mastermind, even though Billy has his own, and we all have our own courses and products, we're still investing in ourselves. We're constantly putting ourselves in the room with people that we can learn from. Always.
And learning from each other, right? Like even when you were down here, it's like, boom, I had questions for you. You had questions for me. Like we're learning from each other, realizing like, okay, cool. He has strengths. I have strengths. And so when you come into a conversation, I challenge you to 90-10. We have a sales rule called the 90-10 rule, where 90% of the time the other person is talking. You have to make sure that they're talking. And here's the thing. It goes 90-10, 90-10, 90-10. So 90% of the time the other person is talking. But 90% of when you do talk, that small 10% when you do talk, needs to be a question. Those two things right there will absolutely, every conversation you ever have for the rest of your life will be better. And you'll make a shitload more sales if you can follow those two rules, I promise you.
Woo! Damn, that was a gem, guys. That was a gem. I love it.
Bro.
Billy, last question I'll just ask you, just so I got you, because it'd be valuable. Are you seeing any other trends right now with Facebook ads? Since you are the legend there, you're spending millions of dollars. Just curious, bro, for those out there that are looking to use Facebook ads or looking to use Instagram ads or YouTube ads or any of that, what are you seeing? Anything?
Yeah, I'll give you one. Just the time is now. So like a lot of people are like, hesitant. Do I advertise right now? Because you're thinking like, oh, I need to save my money. And one of the biggest mistakes you can make is cutting off your marketing spend because that's what drives customers. So when I say the time is now, it's, you think of Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, it doesn't really matter. All of them run on an auction site, meaning their costs are completely dictated by how many people are there. So for example, if you and I are the only advertisers there, it's probably going to be less than a penny for a click, right? But there's millions. But when this whole thing happened, everyone got afraid, and there's a lot less advertisers there right now, which means costs right now are cheap. Costs right now are cheap, and also you've never had a time in history ever where there's been more people at home online.
Yeah.
Ever. So because the auction is less crowded and there's more people online, the costs are amazing. You can reach anybody. And third is you have a mentality of people who know that they're being forced to change and adapt.
Yep.
Right? Like changing user and human behavior is the hardest thing ever, and it's usually really expensive. But when you have a pandemic that's forcing behavior, you don't get a benefit like that too much. You hear the quote, "Don't let a pandemic go to waste." I don't know if I'm crazy about that because there's some other bad shit too. But nonetheless, those are the things I would tell everybody is like, go after it. Like the time is, when I say now, it's like the second we end, like go make your ad. Go, like right now, like dabble, like this second. Yeah.
Woo! All right, guys, so you have some homework to do. Audit your circle, audit your time. Go start your first Facebook ad and go buy a course. Go ask for help. So, Billy, man.
Oh, let me give him one thing to make it real simple. So find people who are literally have the same role as you, whether it's in your team, whatever you're focused on, whether it's advertising, sales, etc., and start a group chat in WhatsApp. Right? WhatsApp is just a little thing where you can put a group chat. And literally on a daily basis, everyone just put what worked and what didn't work. If you do that one little thing and have 5 other people in there, I promise you'll have more substantial growth in any aspect of your life than ever. So whatever that problem is, have a different group for every problem you're facing. Find like 4 or 5 people who are facing similar things and people who have already beat it. It is the simplest but most helpful thing ever.
Wow, that's straight gold. That's straight gold.
Hey, let me ask you one thing before you go, though. Let me ask you.
Of course, always.
Hey, whatever, y'all decide to do. I'm just saying if there is kind of, a wedding or something, just make sure I get that invite. Just make sure I get that invite this way. That's
you already know, bro. You already know, man, your family. And I really genuinely, I'm so happy that we finally got an opportunity to be in person. Guys, if you haven't seen the interview, There's so much. It was the first interview ever where someone asked me more questions almost than I've asked them.
90-10.
It's crazy. I've never had someone who, like, before I can even get into the interview, I was getting interviewed. It was like, it was great. You guys got
I got so much good feedback on that, by the way. I forgot to tell you that. Like, I got blown up from that. People were like, I had close friends of mine. They're like, hey, man, I saw this interview with y'all. And I'm like, yo, it was really good. Like, close friends. They're like, yo. So, like, it was really good. You did an excellent job. And the production, too. Like, yo, by the way, if y'all haven't seen it, like, the production's fire. Like, you know how, like, you'll do interviews, like, you may have, like, I was like, oh, okay, you put me on. Like, you know, so. Shout out to y'all. You guys did a great job.
Thank you, brother. I want to continue to get it out there. It's cool because it's in the library now, the vault forever for history. We'll look back at that. So I'm super, super excited about it. Anything I can ever do, you let me know. I got your back, and I'm looking forward to continuing to just grow together for the rest of our lives, man. We're on this mission. Let's continue to shift the culture. Let's continue to give people the tools, the knowledge, the wisdom, the inspiration, the mentorship for them to go out there and really create a life of freedom and fulfillment for the next generation of leaders, bro. So count me. If you ever need me to step in and provide any value at all, I'm here for you.
Appreciate you, brother.
Just know that. And I consider you a friend, man. Thank you so much for your time.
It's mutual.
God bless, bro. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Stay up. Hey, it looks pretty out there. You should go jump in that water.
You know I will.
All right, homie.
All right, brother. Peace.
If you want another awesome video in our Black Excellence series, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.